Welcome to another episode of Making Better Choices, where real men talk about real life experiences, discipline, character in men, and soon coming, what marriage means to men. Today, I have the distinguished pleasure of interviewing. Let the people know who you are, and let the people know something about you.
My name is Dwayne Germany. I have a childhood named Bugs. You know what I mean? So a lot of people know me by that. You know, we on our mature type shit. You know what I mean? So yeah, we on our official right now, but for the most part, that's what people call me, endearment. You know what I mean? Just a cat man that seen a little bit, been through a little bit. You know what I mean? Kansas City, Kansas, Wyandotte. You know what I mean? Grind dot. You dig? And just want to share some positive shit. You know what I mean? And it's a blessing to see you, my guy. I love you, my nigga. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a blessing to see you. So let's get into it. Let's
And you,
go.
and you know it's all mutual. You know it's a blessing to see you, and you know it's all.
Yeah.
So the first question I have for you today is, what habits or mindsets did you have to let go of to truly grow up?
I think I had to understand when I said fuck it. You know what I mean? Because growing up the way we grew up, seeing the things that we see, it's easy for you to have that mindset, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? And once I start giving a fuck, I started making changes. You know what I mean? I started loving me. You know what I mean? I start paying attention to what I needed, you know what I mean, in order to get through. You know what I mean? So it's just all a point of just really caring, you know what I mean? Because you see so much shit, you lose so much shit. You know what I mean? You be like, man, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Hey man, we on this, we on what blah, blah, blah. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? And when you start giving a fuck, you make better choices because you give a fuck, you know? So for me, that's what it was. I had to start learning how to care again. You know what I mean? It's a defense mechanism. You did, we use that. You know, when you start carrying, it's powerful too.
And I love how you incorporated making better choices in there, being that
Hmm.
that's the name of this podcast, Making Better Choices.
That part. Okay. Okay. Yeah,
So,
that's real.
so young, when you develop that mindset
Hmm.
of not caring,
Yeah.
what brought you to that state?
I mean, when you a kid, man, and you walk to the bus stop or you know what I mean, you just trying to you a kid, you know what I mean, you seeing bodies in the creek. You know what I mean, I grew up on 7th Street. You know what I mean, 7th in New Jersey. You know what I mean, and it was a creek. You know what I mean, and it was a gambling spot on 5th that was heavy. You know what I mean? And niggas was dirty. Niggas was on what they was on. They was doing what they was doing. You know the dice game. You know what I mean? A lot of cats lost their lives behind that. You know what I mean? And they would travel through that creek. You know what I mean? And there was times we growing up, we kids. You know what I mean? We seeing this shit. You know what I mean? You seeing all type of violence around you, losing people that you love. You a kid. You know what I mean? So you just get that mentality. You know what I mean? You outside too late. You know what I mean? The police fuck with you. You know what I mean? You 11, 12. You ain't got no business out there, but you out there, so you exposed to it. You did. You start just losing and just going through your play, and it's natural. A lot of us went through it, my nigga. You know what I mean? And you start not giving a fuck because you don't want to hurt. That's the thing. You don't want to hurt. That's just like, wow. You did? You know what I mean? So you start like, "Well, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to hurt. You don't want it because that should be raw. You know what I mean? And then it becomes a conscious part of how you live and how you breathe and how you know what I mean? It's just who you are now. I don't give a fuck. You know what I
Right.
mean? Oh, they finna give you 15 years. Give a fuck. You know what I mean? This and that. Don't give a fuck. It is what it is. But deep inside, you really don't feel like that. You know what I mean? Because wow, wow. You know what I mean? So you have to learn, like I said, you know what I mean? You have to learn how to care about what's happening to you because you only got one life. You know what I mean? We spirits. You did. You know what I mean? We don't know how the afterlife, how it's gonna play out, my nigga. You know what I mean? But as of what we know, you know what I mean, you only got one play. So you gotta care about it. Yeah.
I like that. I like that. Very detailed answer.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference between age and maturity in your eyes?
You got a lot of old dumbass niggas. They ain't learned nothing. They was dumb, young, dumb niggas. You know what I mean? You never grow. It's all about, you could be 17, 18, 16, 17, 18. You know what I mean? And be mature and wise as fuck. You know what I'm saying? And see, we'll have that mentality like, I'm older than you. I can't learn nothing from you. What you mean? You know what I mean? But you don't know what that cat done been through or that sister done been through. You know what I mean? What they done seen. You know what I mean? Some people got to grow up early.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to grow up early.
Yeah.
You know? So you don't know what they've been through. You don't know what's going on in their brain. You don't know how strong they are, how brave they are. You know what I mean? How courageous they are. You know what I mean? So with age, it really don't matter. It's about how your mind functions and how you deal with situations. You know what I mean? Because I know a lot of cats that's my age. I'm 51.
Right.
They're dumb as fuck.
Yeah.
Same type of, you know what I mean? What am I listening to you for? You know what I mean? But it's also people that are younger than me or my age that could be on the same door. You giving me fruit. Iron sharpens iron.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's about what you see. A lot of people think that they know it all.
Yeah.
They think that they know it all. You know what I mean? When you have to understand that you're also a student. All of us are students. All of us are students. You know what I mean? Throughout this whole path of life, you know what I mean? We're still learning. Nobody knows it all. You know what I mean? And when you get that in your head, you know what I mean? You open up yourself for everything.
Yeah.
Everything that's coming at you, everything that God, he put everything here for us, and he put people in your life, you know what I mean, in your life, you know, to give you those. But if your mind is so, I know it all, can't tell me shit.
Yeah.
Fuck you mean?
Yeah.
What are you talking about, man? You know, it's all about that.
True story. So how does a man handle being disrespected without sacrificing his integrity?
Understanding the consequences that come with it. Understanding the consequences. You know what I mean? Okay, you can crash out.
Yeah.
Okay, you can crash out. But are you ready for what's gonna come with that though? You know what I mean? See, I go through every day, and a lot of people do. I know you do too.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You go through life, man, and you know what I mean, out here, you know what I mean, just today, currently, the mindset, this disrespect, you know what I mean, this corny shit, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? This competition, this weirdo shit. You know what I mean? And you have to deal with all that disrespectful shit when everything about you is really your core is respect. But you have to adjust because that's not what it's not trending. It's not trending right now. Respect is not trending.
Sure
You know what I
enough.
mean? Disrespect.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yes.
Yeah. So you got to
You know.
navigate through that shit. You know what I mean? And understand the consequences if I crash out. If I crash out, I'm going to the joint. They're going to lay me down. They're going to stretch me out. It's going to be a wrap. You know what I mean? It's not going to be good. And it's not going to just affect me. It's going to affect everybody that I love. Everybody that fuck with me. Everybody in my circle. My tribe. You know what I mean? See, when you selfish, you don't give a fuck. See, that's the I don't give a fuck.
Yes.
You gotta give a fuck because other people they give a fuck about you.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So if you crash out, dumb shit. You always gotta think. You gotta think. See, the way things are now, you gotta think for yourself and the other person.
Yes.
You gotta think for them too. I know you want bullshit. I know you gonna take me there. So I have to think and put myself in a better situation because bam, 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 bam. The effects of my actions if I don't think.
Yes.
You get that?
I love that.
How you feel about it? Because you've been out here with me, homie.
I
You
love
did.
that.
How you feeling about it?
I love that. And I agree with you wholeheartedly because every choice that you make affects those around you. Those tied to you, those connected to you, those in your circle.
Yeah.
So
you wouldn't have been able to make that song with your son.
Exactly.
You did. See, that's special shit.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah,
exactly.
It's all about that. All that shit supersedes your ego.
Yes.
Okay, this punk ass nigga. Okay, I already know. Woo, woo, woo. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna be cool.
Yes.
I'm gonna be cool because I want to be able to make that song with my son.
Yeah.
I want to be able to spend that quality time with my kid. You know what I mean? My family. I want to be there. You know what I mean? When the barbecues pop off, when the birthday parties pop off, when we just need each other. You dig? I want to be there.
Yeah,
You know? I don't want to be, they called him up again. You know, he's in there. You know? That
yeah,
ain't what we want to be on right now, man. Life is short, man, and God is good. And as long as we play it right, be okay.
and that's facts. And it's just like you say,
Yeah.
coming to the understanding that knowing that you're not the only one that suffers the consequences.
Right. It's selfishness.
Yeah, you're not the only one that suffers the consequences from your actions. Those
Right.
connected to you suffer with you.
Yeah.
So, like you said, that's a very selfish choice to not
Yeah.
consider all factors that will be affected by your choices.
Right.
So I'm definitely locked in with you on that.
Hmm.
So what does loyalty look like in your circle of men?
Loyalty is to me it's wrapped around respect. Because if I don't respect you, I'm not gonna be loyal to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? I gotta respect you. We have to respect each other. It has to be a mutual respect. You know what I mean? In order to even go across that bridge as far as loyalty, you know what I mean? Because that's a strong word. And a lot of people abuse it.
They do.
You dig?
Yeah.
So that's a strong word. It's all about my answer to that is it's respect, huh? It's respect. If I respect you as a man, genuinely,
Yes.
yeah, the loyalty is riding throughout. I mean, us, it's a perfect example. It's a perfect example. We met each other as teenagers,
Yes.
kids,
Yes.
kids. Yeah, we almost 40 strong with it.
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
That's loyalty.
Yes.
That's friendship. That's real respect. That's what it's about.
All day long, all day strong.
Hmm.
Yes, indeed. So what does it look like when a man suffers in silence?
Ooh. Yeah, it looks like an everyday man. It's an everyday. You won't even know it because most of the time it's not even gonna be displayed. We just gonna do what we gotta do and we gonna try to make it happen. But inside it's a storm. You did. It's a storm, but you're gonna keep your head up. You're gonna keep your head up and you're gonna keep moving and you're gonna
Yeah.
get it done. Yeah, you might be fucked up. Most of us are fucked up.
Yeah.
Most of society is fucked up.
Yes, it is.
You did. Most of society's fucked up, but we get up and we do what we gotta do, regardless. You know what I mean? You might be able to get that little that in a person's eyes when you look at them eye to eye. You know what I mean? You come
Yeah.
eye to eye. Yeah, you might get a glimpse, but most people ain't even gonna display it unless you weak, looking for attention or some shit.
Yeah.
You feel me?
I like
Yeah.
that. Great response. How do you balance being strong while still being emotionally available?
It's a good question, cuz. Hmm. Just being honest.
There you go.
Just being honest. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't gonna have no beautiful day. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's gonna have their days which like, wow, okay, let me slow down, let me get myself together, let me brace myself. You know what I mean? So it's just being honest about what's going on with you. You know what I mean? If it's like that, yeah, your energy's cool, you're back, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know. But if it's not like that, don't pretend. Cause that's fake.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm having a day. I'm having one of them days. You know what I mean? You know, you got shit going on. Sometimes your past will pull up on you like, damn, especially if you love somebody and they ain't here. You know what I mean? Damn, you know, and you need time to process that so that you can grow and learn how to deal with it because it ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So just be honest about how you feeling.
I like
You
that.
know?
I like that. And
Because it's real shit.
and speaking of growing,
Hmm.
how did accountability shape your growth?
When you honest with yourself.
I
You know what
like
I'm
that.
saying? Yeah, you got to be honest with yourself. You got to look in the mirror every day. You got to get up, go in the mirror, brush your teeth, wash your face, get yourself together. You want to gotta look at yourself in the mirror. Do you like it? Do you like it? Can
Yeah,
you stand there and really look at yourself? You know what I mean? And keep your head up. Dig? You know what I mean? It's a
yeah,
difference. You know, some cats got to look in the mirror and like, damn, I'm a fuck nigga.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
I, you know what I mean? My homeboy in the joint doing 30 years and I snitched on that nigga.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? I just whooped on my woman. My woman's laying in the bed right now, and I just knocked the fuck out of her, nigga. You know what I mean? You got to deal with every behavior that you display, and you
yeah,
got to look yourself in the mirror,
yeah.
and you got to live with that shit.
I like
You know
that.
what I mean? Oh, I disrespected my mother. Dig? You know,
Yeah,
you got to live with that. So it's
yeah,
all about dealing with yourself. Can you deal with it?
right. I like that. So, what role does social media play in shaping unrealistic expectations in men?
Because everybody want to pretend that they rich.
Yes,
Everybody want to
yes,
pretend that they got the bag. You know what I mean? You got to have the bag now. You know what I mean? It ain't about your character. It ain't about, you know what I mean, what you stand for. You know what I mean? It ain't about how you just live your, you know what I mean? It's all about the bag now. You know what I mean? But fuck niggas got the bag.
yeah,
Weirdos got the bag.
yeah,
You know, you know what I mean? It really don't. But that's the play. You know what I mean? As of right now, that's the current trend. You dig? That's the current trend. So you really don't even know if a person is pure, if they mean you any good. You know what I mean? If they really on scandalous shit, they mean to harm you or yours. You know what I mean? Take from you, manipulate you. You know what I mean? Long as you got the bag, you good though. You
yeah.
good, right? You know what I mean? You
What
that
they
nigga.
say?
Or you that bitch.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
Got the bag. You
right,
know, that's the scale, or if you good people or not. If you're interacting, you know, you can interact with this person. You know what I mean? You can deal with this person. You know what I mean? So social media shows that, you know what I mean, if you could pretend good, you acceptable.
yeah,
You know what I mean? But ain't no substance, and that's what's missing. You know what I mean? Because we have to start really dealing with each other without all that. When I see you in person, how is the vibe?
yeah,
Is the vibe real? You know what I mean? We run into people all the time that we talk to on Facebook or TikTok or whatever. How we play it, and the whole energy's different
yeah,
because it's not real. You know
exactly,
what I mean? People are pretending. You know what I mean? On social media, you pretending to be something that you're not, or your vibe is different. You know what I mean? Or some people might just be more comfortable doing that.
right,
You know what I mean? So you got to flip it. You know what I mean? A lot of people might be more comfortable. You
right,
know what I mean? So you know it does. Yeah, that's real talk. That's real talk. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you always got to keep your mind open. That
right,
just now, bam. You know, but some people might not even, you know what I mean, on a personal. You did?
right,
So okay. Yeah,
right. I like that.
yeah. I'm learning too.
So, how do you navigate pressure to provide, lead, or remain stoic in difficult times?
Same answer, actually. Be honest. Be honest with yourself. Know your limitations. You know what I mean? Know what you're capable of, and capitalizing on your strengths,
Right,
understanding your weaknesses. You know what I mean? And building your weaknesses so that
right,
they don't become a constant part of your play. You always want to wipe off your armor. Always want to clean your armor off.
right,
You know what I mean? Because we live life, but it's always a war. It's always something going on. You know what I mean? Whether it's a spiritual war, a mental war, a physical war. You know what I mean?
right,
So you always want to clean off your armor. You know what I mean? To find any dents. But just try to just be diligent. Don't give up. No matter how hard it gets, just don't give up.
right,
You know what I mean? Just don't give up. Man, I had a hell of a year, a hell of a year. You know what I
right,
mean? I got told all type of shit about my health plate. You know what I
Okay.
mean? But I never gave up.
Right.
I never gave up, man. I didn't believe, you know what I mean? I was telling, I don't believe this shit. You know
Right.
what I mean? You know, and we get up and we keep going and we stay strong and we stay diligent.
Right.
And it is what it is, man. And you got to keep faith in God. That's first and foremost. You know what I mean? Because the big homie in the sky is going to make sure that you good. If you good, you know?
I
So
love
I
that.
just don't, I don't, yeah, don't stop, don't ever stop fighting. No
Right.
matter what. You up against the ropes. Come
I
on,
love that.
let's go. You know?
I love
Don't
that.
stop fighting.
So, what do you think is the biggest unspoken challenge men deal with today?
I believe, man, it's that's a complex question. Um, it's a lot, bro. It's actually a lot, man. It's we've been conditioned to not really just get together as far as a unit. Anytime we try to put something together as a collective, it goes wrong because everybody wants to be that guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Everybody, so you know, so we what we do is we create our own island and we control and we deal with that on our own. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to, you know what I mean, be diplomatic as our people. You don't want to be diplomatic and work together. You know what I mean? I actually saw a video, man. It pissed me off, but at the same time, it was real shit. It was a Mexican, and he was like, "Man, black people, strong people." You know what I mean? But they don't stick together
Very
like
true.
us. You know what I mean? That's why it rubbed me. It's like us. They need to be like us. And at the same time, it was the truth, but you don't want to, you know what I mean? That's one of our biggest problems, man. You know what I mean? We still, you'll get more aggressive. You go into a Walmart, gas station, wherever, dig, and you see a nigga, you automatically clutch your shit. You don't know what he on. Might rob me, woo, 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 woo. But you see another race and you comfortable. And that's real talk. We all do it. We all do it,
And why do
you
you
know,
think that is?
because we know the mindset. Most of us are hungry. Most of us are trying to figure it out. Most of us just got some bad news on the phone. I just lost my job, or I just lost this, or this bill is due and I ain't got it, and I gotta figure this shit out. You know what I mean? What the fuck? You know what I mean? My kids is hungry. You know what I mean? We can't even feed the kids, man. What you gonna do? You in a relationship? You know what I mean? That's a major factor. Major factor. You know what I mean? You in a relationship. You in a family setting. You know what I mean? So when it ain't just you, it ain't just
Mhm.
you. You dealing with a family. You know what I mean? And your woman is like, hey, what the fuck? Hey,
Right.
what you gonna do? You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So you never know the mentality. You know what I mean? That's the environment. That's the play that's been set up for us as black people in this country. We've always had to struggle. We've always had to just get it. You know what I mean? And a lot of us have went down that path to where when you get it, it ain't right. So you don't know what the next person's going through. So most of the time, yeah, you see a white person or a Mexican person, you know what I'm saying? You ain't really as defensive because it's not like that for them, like it is for us.
Right.
You know what I mean? Most of you know what I mean? So
Most
yeah,
definitely.
and that's bad.
Most definitely.
Hmm.
So, what's one thing every man should be held accountable for when it comes to their character?
Being real. Being real. You know what I mean? You want people to fake love you, fake fuck with you. How corny is that?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because that's just going it's watered down. You know what I mean? So people are gonna get tired of drinking it. It's watered down.
I like that.
See what I'm saying? Yeah, it's watered down. You're not being yourself. Just be yourself, man. You know what I mean? That's that with every play, every aspect we've been, you know what I mean? Just be yourself. Be yourself.
I like that.
Mhm.
How do you,
What's your play on it? Fuck with me. What's your play on it? We
I
gonna
would
vibe
say,
together, cuz.
I like that. I like that. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Talk to me. Talk your
And
talk.
to me, I would say one thing every man should be held accountable for when it comes to their character is
Yeah.
it goes back to what you said, honesty. Because
Yeah.
you don't owe no man a lot. Like, what's the point? What do you stand to gain in lying to another man?
Nothing.
It's
My
like,
grandma, my great grandmother told me when I was a kid, the only person you lie to is somebody that you're afraid of.
I like that.
And you're not supposed to be afraid of nobody but God.
Thank you.
What are you afraid of?
Thank you.
Dude,
I love that. Because in my mind as a man, if I gotta lie to you, I don't need to be around you.
that part.
And if you lying to me, I don't want you around me.
Right. I can't trust you.
Exactly. So, how do your values show up in how you treat others?
Respect. I respect myself. So, you know what I mean? I'm looking for that in return. You know what I mean? And when it's not given, because I'm gonna automatic, I'm the type of cat mouse, I'm gonna automatically give it to you. I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean? I'm gonna start with a clean slate. You know what I mean? Because you can't judge nobody. I'm not in a position to judge anybody. You know what I'm saying? So the slate's clean. And when you start getting them marks on there, you did. So it's all about respect. You know what I mean? My value is respect. The way you treat me is the way I'm going to treat you. You know what I mean? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. You know what I mean? So if I'm treating you good, I expect you to treat me good. If I'm treating you messed up, fucked up, you know what I mean? How can I expect you to treat me good if I'm treating you like that? So the energy I'm giving you, you know what I mean? It's a boomerang effect. It's a boomerang effect. You know what I mean? And that's just karma. That's just, you know what I mean? It's balance. You know what I'm saying? It's life. You know what I mean? The way you treat people is the same energy you're going to get back in return. You know what I mean? If you're good to people, for the most part, everybody ain't, some people look at that as a weakness when you're good to people. So you got to be aware of that. You got to take that into account. You know what I mean? But for the most part, man, when you good to people, man, your energy and everything is going to be cool. You know? That's how I look at that.
Hey, that was so well said and put together. That applies
Thank
to
you.
friendships and relationships.
Everything.
So a lot of men should understand if you're treating that woman with such behavior, you have
She's gonna
no reason,
reciprocate it.
you have no reason to feel no type of way when she returns that same behavior to you.
There you go. There you go.
Now you know how
It's
she
like a,
felt.
mm-hmm.
Now you know
It's
how
like
she felt when you were doing it to her.
right.
Yeah,
Right. You can't just, you know what I mean, go left. You did, and then expect, you know what I mean, everything to be 100.
exactly.
It don't work that way. You know what I mean? It don't work that way. You know, you might have some crash dummies. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But for the most part, people are not just gonna let you just, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you giving me, I'm gonna give you.
Yes.
It's just like that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And that's fair. See, that's the thing. A lot of people, you know what I mean, have just got away being fair. You don't have to be one-sided. You know what I mean? You don't have to be the big dog and then you got the small person. It's not balanced. It's dominion.
Right.
It's not real.
You're
It's
right about
corny.
that.
You dig? When
Exactly.
it's when it's fair play, yeah, prosperous.
What we always used to
Everybody,
say,
everybody eat. Hmm?
what we used to always say, turnabout is fair play, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So question,
Okay.
how do you balance strength with humility in your everyday life?
When you give a person or a situation a pass, when you know in the past you would have taken it a completely different direction. You would have went completely left. You would have crashed out. You know what I mean? It would have been bad. You know what I mean? But you swallow your pride. You think, you humble yourself, and you keep going and you get through the day and you make it home to your family.
Very good response. Very good response.
Mm-hmm.
How important is emotional maturity and
Shit,
the
that's everything.
transition from boyhood to manhood?
It's everything. It's everything. Cause like what we was talking about earlier, cause like if you I'm 51. You 51, but you didn't grow. So you're still doing shit that you were doing when you were 17 and 18 and 19 years old. You still have a mentality where you're thinking like a child. You're not thinking responsible. You know what I mean? It's about you, because you just basically coming out of the womb, just coming off the porch. Not too long. You might have a few years in. You know what I mean? We started early. You know what I mean? But really, we was kids. You know what I mean? So if you keep a childish mentality, a me mentality, you know what I mean? It's all about just me. Ain't no responsibilities, nothing.
I like
You know what I
that.
mean?
Speak on
Feel
that.
me? Yeah, you know what I mean? But then when you get to big boy shit, you have to think like a big boy. We always wanted to be a man. I'm a man. Even we wasn't even 18. I'm a man. What you mean? Now it's your time. Now is the time that you are a man. You gotta prove it. And you have to earn it. You know what I mean? Talking ain't shit. It's about action.
So to
You know what I
elaborate
mean? So you hmm?
on that, what does being a man mean to you?
Standing on your word, taking care of your family, providing for your family, protecting your family. You know what I mean? And being there as far as that person that can be dependable. You know what I mean? Be dependable and be accountable. You know what I mean? A man is a giant, my nigga. You know what I mean? They belittle the importance of being a man. You know what I mean? They demasculate. You know what I mean? It's all, that's the play with everything going on around here. You know what I mean? But being a man is actually a giant. We're innovators. You know what I mean? We actually here to protect this whole globe. You know what I mean? That's really our purpose, is to populate and to protect this land, this earth. That's what we're here for. You know what I mean? And we devalue that because we've devalued ourselves, and we've been taught to devalue ourselves. We've been taught not to understand the importance of who we really are. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, that's deep, man. Being a man is that's it's a lot of responsibilities, it's a lot of characteristics, it's a lot to come with being a real man, you know.
Right,
And some of us have gotten to that point. We all students though. We
right,
all learning. You know what I mean? Because if you ain't really had the blueprint for it, and most of us didn't, we had to just, get it from scratch, get it out the mud. You know what I mean? Yeah, but we can get to it. That's a huge, a man. Yeah, it's a huge plight. A lot of people can't say that. Just grown boys.
right. So speaking of grown boys,
Yep,
there any decisions that you made in your past that made your upbringing difficult?
yep, a lot. Actually, 90% of my decisions. 90% of my decisions, my nigga.
Right,
You know what I mean? I grew up in the system. You know what I mean? I grew up in the system doing dumb shit, not giving a fuck. See what I'm saying? I didn't care about myself. You know what I mean? Streets, and you know what I mean? You seeing this shit, this is what it is. You know what I mean? For some of us, it was kind of like, if you don't go down this lane, you finna be going through it. How you gonna protect yourself? How you gonna deal with this shit out here by yourself? You know what I mean? It's getting real. You know what I mean? We grew up when the crack, the gangs, all that shit originated when it started. You know what I mean? We wasn't, we was there when it started. You know what I mean? And we all fell victim to a lot of bad decisions. Okay, it didn't make sense. I was actually an honor roll student, homie. I was an honor roll student. I was
I
smart
was
as fuck.
too. I was
Yeah, smart as fuck.
too.
Yeah, real life, man. You
I
know what I
was
mean? In
too.
all type of shit, school and shit. You know what I mean? But I lived in a fucked up neighborhood. Shit was going on. You know what I mean? We seeing shit. We exposed to shit. You know what I mean? Instead of making the right decisions, I made the wrong ones.
Right.
I made all the wrong decisions, and I'm account. I did that. Didn't
Right.
nobody make me do that. Didn't nobody, you know what I mean? I made the decisions to do that. So as a man, I have to be accountable. It's who I am. I'm not ashamed of it.
Right.
Not ashamed of it. You know what I mean? But I've made a lot of mistakes. So now, as a man, you acknowledge it and you try to do better. You try not to repeat that. And you try to teach the next generation, you know what I mean, not to make the same mistakes that you did. You know what I mean? Now, I saw this before. I did this before, homie. It ain't working. This is what happened to me. You know what I mean? When I was doing that shit. You know what I mean? This is how it turned out for me. You know what I mean? Don't do that, homie. You still gonna do your, you know what I mean? Make your own play. I can't tell you what to do. You know what I mean? But I'm telling you what happened to me. So that's a part of being a man too, because you have to send that message to the next generation, to our kids. You know what I mean? Because they look up to us. And actually, this generation, the ones that we talk about is so fucked up out here, we're the ones that raised them.
Yeah.
That's accountability right there, right?
Truth
We
being
the ones
told.
that raised them. Niggas talk that shit about how they fucked up, how disrespectful they are. But these are the kids that, yeah, yeah, we the examples. So what
Exactly.
does that say? What does that
Exactly.
say? I always say that shit. I'm like, man, we could talk shit about how how loud they moving, how reckless they moving, how immoral they're even moving. You know what I mean? These niggas is killing women and kids now.
Yeah.
Nope, anybody can get it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But we was fucked up too. They said the same thing about us.
Yeah. Very true.
They said the same thing about us.
Very true.
Yeah, 90s,
Yeah.
early 90s, 80s. Yeah,
Yeah. Very true.
yeah. They said the same shit. So we got to be accountable for that too. That's part of manhood. That's part of the last play you was talking about. Being a man. Got to be accountable for all that shit. I do feel responsible for that. I can't be responsible for individuals' actions. You did, but the illusion that they grew up in, you know what I mean? The negligence that they grew up in, you know what I mean? A lot of them grew up and their parents was on dope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which how I'm supposed to take care of my sisters and my brothers and you know what I mean? And mama or dad, my daddy locked up, mama in the room high as hell, and we hungry.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the sad reality around so many
Feel
neighborhoods.
me?
Yeah.
Feel me?
Yeah.
So we gotta be accountable. Every play.
How do societal expectations affect your mental health as a man?
It does. It does. As far as me, I don't I'm gonna be honest, I ain't even gonna sugarcoat it. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck about none of that. You know what I mean? It's about what I implement into my life and my, my path. You know what I mean? Because everybody has their own path. So why would I worry about the next person's when it's dealing with my path? You know what I mean? The popular opinion, you know what I mean, society's views or society's way of, this is traditional. This is how, you know what I mean? When you concern yourself with shit like that, you living with somebody else. You basically letting somebody just dictate your play. You know what I mean? You're supposed to do it like everybody else or whatever. You know what I mean? But it's always the different people or the individualists that succeed. When you don't just, when you go against the grain, you know what I mean? That's the name of the book I'm pushing too, homie. Against the
Okay.
grain. You know what I mean? When you do that, it's special. You deal with society, it's just normal. That's boring. You know what I mean? You want to go outside of that.
Tell us something about Against the Grain. Speak on it.
It's just basically a biography. It's my story.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's my story. And I just want to share that, you know what I mean? Because hopefully if somebody younger, you know what I mean, can see that, go through the same, you know what I mean, and understand, wow, okay, I better not do that. You know what I mean? I better not go down that road. I better not play it like this. You know what I mean? I better tighten up my shit. You know what I mean? Because it's real out here. You know what I mean? That's basically it. You know what I mean? That's the format of it. You know what I mean? It's a little twist, and you know what I mean. What I need to do, I need to edit it a little bit more because I think I was a little bit too transparent. You know what I mean? Just for criminal you know what I'm saying? Just purposes to make sure everything's 100. You know what I
Hey,
mean? The DOJ and all that shit. They running game right now. You gotta be careful. So
only include what's public record.
you feel me?
If it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
public
So
record, don't reveal it.
right. So I got to do a little bit of cleaning on it. You know what I mean? Before I push it. But yeah, I'm excited about it.
And I'm excited to read it and support it and help you push it too
I
because
let you read yeah,
way back when
yeah.
that was NKC.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
when I pulled up on you,
Yep. You came to the
okay,
house. Yeah.
it came back. It came back. It
Yep.
came back. Okay. So to those that don't know why
Mm-hmm.
why you were right against the grain, and when you talk about sharing your story,
Mm-hmm.
to the viewers that don't know, give them a piece that you're comfortable sharing.
Well, wow. It's it's deep, man. Honestly, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna share a positive. I'm gonna share a positive. And I actually I posted a picture on Facebook. So yesterday, day before yesterday, you know what I mean? And it's crazy that that's actually a moment that makes me feel cool. And we were in prison. We were in prison. We created a clothing line, you know what I mean, called Breakout. You know what I mean? A lot of us, we just brainstormed and we came up with the concept, break out of the mentality, you know what I mean, that prison is cool. You know what I mean? This is coming from inmates, niggas is in there, you know what I mean, 15 and better. You know what I mean? Prison ain't cool. You know what I mean? That was the whole message, a positive message. You know what I mean? And we were making music. You know what I mean? Positive music with that hood edge. It was still, you know what I mean? It was you could play that. It was live. It was lit. You know what I mean? But it was a positive image. You know what I mean? And it was gratifying. You know what I mean? When the scared straight kids would come in. You know what I mean? And we were involved with that. You know what I mean? Mainly real. You know what I mean? The homie Real Essex, my
Shout
guy.
out to Real.
You know?
Shout out to Real.
Yeah. He opened the door for a lot of that, man. You know, he opened the door for a lot of that, man. Now all of us are thankful for that. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't, yeah, that door opened and we just ran through it, my guy. You know what I mean? And it was some beautiful shit. You know what I mean? We just some Kansas cats. You know what I mean? And they're doing, doing what we doing. You know what I mean? And for that to happen like that, man, that was cool. You know what I mean? So I elaborate on that. You know what I mean? You was there. Or you had left? Had you left? You had already left.
They had already left
Okay.
when I did the clothing, but I will say this. When you
Yeah.
say doing time in prison, and when you mention recording music in prison, I will
Yep.
publicly say, I remember the first time I came down to the studio, and I think I think I was Blueface before Blueface even hit the scene.
That part, OG Blueface.
Hey, remember I couldn't find the beat.
I know it, man. I'm like, come on, homie. Do it again. Do it again. You got this shit. You got this shit. Just do it again. All right, cuz. All right.
And I
You
remember
stayed on it though.
And I remember at first, I was like, man, this rap stuff ain't for me. That's, the homies got this and they got it. But you stayed in my ear and kept telling me to stick with it. And
No doubt.
eventually I did get it. And
Yeah, you did.
much
You
love and
did.
appreciation on that, homie, because
Always, always.
I can definitely go back to when the movie NWA, when they were saying Easy E, they were trying to get Easy E to rap.
Yeah, that was you.
Exactly.
That was you. We used to tell you, man, take your ass back out there on the court, nigga. The fuck is you even doing in here? What are you doing? But I just wrote this song. I just wrote this song.
Hey,
Yeah,
hey,
we let you up in there. You go in there, do your thing. All right, okay, okay. But you came along, you did, man. That shit with your son, man, that shit go hard.
I appreciate that. I appreciate
I
that.
like that.
And that song that I did with my son called Boy
Yeah,
to a Man,
yeah.
that song Boy to a Man is not even possible without y'all opening the door when we were locked up and y'all staying in my ear telling me, come on, cuz, you got this. Come on, cuz, don't give up. And
Yeah.
y'all keeping me focused. And y'all was so ahead of me with that. Like y'all flow was just y'all ride the beat.
Yeah.
Y'all lyrics, your concepts, everything was just way ahead of me.
Thank you. That's how you was on the court. You was a monster. That was your lane.
That's
But
true.
you learn how to be multi with it.
True.
But your lane is basketball. Basketball.
Speaking of basketball, speaking of the joint,
Yeah, yeah.
we got some stories from there.
Okay.
Yeah, we got some stories from there. What's your memory about basketball inside?
Are you asking me to come with the stories? Or I thought we was sharing and shit.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and share from my, hey, I'll share from my perspective. I would say I remember, the outside teams coming in playing some basketball, and
KU.
and
KU came in here.
I remember
Yeah.
going to play outside teams, and I remember outside teams leaving the facility and writing letters trying to get me out of prison to go play basketball while I was still young. And I remember the parole board denying it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And back then, my mind couldn't grasp why they would
The
deny
important.
me the opportunity
Yep.
to go
You
do
was that good.
to go do something positive.
Homie, you was that good.
I appreciate that.
Hey, I grew up around you, my nigga. Yeah, you was a beast. You was
And
a beast.
I think I
Once you
went,
learn how to calm your temper down, because you used to
yeah,
want to fight all the time.
yeah.
Your ass always wanted to fight. Foul, nigga. Foul. And then give you that foul, you go off, you take the ball off and shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, you was a monster, my guy. You know what I mean? I'm proud of you. You know what I mean? The shit that you did, man. We used to put your picture in the gym. When you got out, you
Appreciate,
went to the D1. Now, I mean, we would
appreciate
put your
that.
picture in the gym.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, real talk.
And I
Real talk.
definitely, and I feel like I wasted my best years inside. And
We out there. Yeah.
and like that'll be one of my regrets, one of your regrets, some of the other homies, we gave some of our
Yep.
best years. And
Yep.
but the difference is we're still here and we still have this.
There you go. Because I was about to say, how can we decide whether or not that was our best years?
Yeah,
What? Why not right now? Can't that be our best year? You never know.
I like
You know
that.
what I'm saying? Age don't, just because we were in our 20s and early, you know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
your best years. Some people go live in their mids or
yeah,
their, you know what I'm saying? So you don't know when you're gonna blossom.
yes,
You don't know when the world is really ready for you or your talent. Now, as far as the physical, I get what you're saying.
yes,
I get that. I
yeah,
get that. Yeah, but what you want right now is special. You know
yeah,
what I mean? You never know where this might go
yes. And it's like I'm learning that it's not where you start, it's where you go.
and how you finish.
Exactly. Because I know now that the goal is everything that we've been through,
Yeah,
everything that we see going on now, the
yeah.
goal is to try to reach these youth
There you go.
and give them outlets that other people aren't giving them.
That part. And they ain't they gonna take it from somebody that's genuine.
Yes.
You know what I mean? See, when we were kids, you couldn't have no corny, no lame. You know what I mean? Hey man, you need to get your life together, man. You need to do this, and I think you need to make better decisions. It's a lame though.
Yeah.
Get out my face, nigga. Who is you talk? What?
Yeah.
But if it's coming from somebody with substance that these cats respect and they look up to, you know what I mean, or got love for, mutual respect. That's all it's about. It don't matter the age gap. It's all
Yeah,
about respect. If I respect you, you respect me. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Same rules apply. You know what I mean? And somebody like that is giving them the truth, they'll be more receptive to it.
Someone that has
You know what I mean?
someone that has genuinely walked in those shoes and lived their life.
Right,
Yeah,
right. Because I mean, somebody that you ain't walked that, you don't really know nothing about that. You might have a cousin or uncle that done been through that, and you know, but you personally haven't. You know what I mean? What I'm gonna listen to you for?
that's like someone that's never been married talking to you about marriage.
Marriage, right,
Someone that's never
right,
been divorced telling you how to deal with your divorce.
exactly,
Someone that's never been in a committed relationship trying to teach you how to be faithful in a relationship. See,
right,
it just goes hand in hand. Yeah,
right. You talking over my head. I'm not even listening to you. What are you talking about?
exactly, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So that
cause we gotta
definitely.
wrap. Cause we gotta wrap this up. I just got a text, man. So I need to handle this real quick.
Well, check us out.
Hey, hmm
It was a pleasure having you on,
man.
and I look forward to us chopping it up again.
Part two.
Part two will be coming,
Let's
and
go.
you have a blessed one, and you be
You
safe.
as well. You as well, cuz much love and much respect. Thank you for having me on the platform. You know what I mean? Nothing but success coming your way. Nothing but love and prosperity. You know what I mean? Blessings for you and your family, my guy.
Likewise, everything right back at you. You know I love you.
No doubt, homie.
Love.
Love.